All right, starting in just a sec here. Hey everybody, welcome to WCAX Extra. I'm John McMahon. Today we're going to be talking about the Woodstock's kind of weighing their options now as far as what their future of their high school looks like. There's been talks of tearing it down and building a new one, a failed bond vote in the mix there. That is kind of leading to more conversations of what that future looks like for them. So one of our reporters that has done a lot of work on this is our Adam Sullivan. Adam, thanks for coming by here and kind of shed some light on this. First things first,
yeah, it's good to be with you.
Oh, what's that?
It's good to be with you.
Yeah, good to be with you. So first things first is a $99 million bond vote. It was shot down. Just kind of clearing some air here. Why is there even a new school needed in the first place?
I mean, the systems in the school are really failing, according to the superintendent. It was built in the mid 1950s. They've had backups and blockages before getting access to the sewer, the electrical, the water lines is difficult because of the construction. And even if you get access, district officials are afraid that, even by flushing the lines, something like that, they could have sort of a system-wide failure that would really interrupt school learning. So they've known about this for a while. And they've been working on this proposal to build a new school for a while. But as you said, John, the $99 million rebuild in the land right next to the current facility there on Route 4, that was shot down on town meeting day. It's worth noting that the actual budget for Woodstock passed. So it's not like residents in the 7 towns who go to the Woodstock Union Middle School and high school don't support their school, but obviously the $99 million bond just proved too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with that in mind, I know there's a few options now on the table. What's that looking like moving forward?
So they're back to the drawing board because essentially, the problems with the school are not going away and they need to be fixed. So now, so the district sent out a survey to sort of weigh why people voted no, why they voted yes, that sort of thing. And then they came back with these 3 new proposals. One is to renovate the current building, which comes at a very high cost. The second one is to build a new building, but to build it in phases, which would likely save a little bit of money. And then the third one is to rebuild completely like the original $99 million plan that was shot down, but a little smaller footprint. But, the irony, I guess, if you will, is that because they delayed the vote in Woodstock, the $99 million, moving forward because of inflation and construction costs, they're looking at a pretty hefty price tag, even though they're trying to save costs.
Yeah, and is that kind of how a larger kind of ed funding debate factors into all of this here?
Well, they're definitely keeping a close eye on Montpelier. As you know, John, school budgets across the state, I think 1/3 failed. Property taxes are really becoming too much for many people. And so that debate in Montpelier, how to pay for school funding, is ongoing. The yield bill, as we've reported, was vetoed by the governor. We'll see what happens with that likely next week. Our Calvin Cutler tells me that there could be movement on that. But essentially, districts are really waiting to see what Montpelier does when it comes to funding so they can sort of act accordingly and plan accordingly. But at the same time, districts also have to plan themselves. So that's why Woodstock is going forward. They're putting forward these plans. But, how and if it will be funded really is up to Montpelier as well. Montpelier is going to play a factor in that.
No, of course. Well, Adam, thanks for stopping by here and shedding some light on this. I know we aired the story last night and this morning as well. And if any of you missed that, we actually we'll pull up your story for just here in just a second here. But Adam, I really appreciate you hopping by and kind of kind of getting the crux of this.
It's good to be with you, John. Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's back to the drawing board here at the Mountain View Supervisory Union in Woodstock. And one thing is certain, the problems with this ailing high school, middle school are not going away. It's a 60-year-old building. The water, sewer, and electrical systems are all failing. A $99 million bond to build a new school was shot down by taxpayers back in March. The district continues to work on a long-term solution.
Our facility has really run its course, and I'm concerned that we will have some catastrophic failure, which will really interrupt student learning.
After feedback from the public, the school board has presented 3 new options: renovate the old school, build a new school in phases, or stick with the original plan with a slightly smaller footprint. By delaying the project, district officials say options 1 and 3 will exceed the original $99 million proposal. Option 2, building in phases, would likely save taxpayers a little money. District officials say this year's debate over education funding in Montpelier, known as the yield bill, which Governor Scott vetoed, is another factor.
The current yield bill put a new roadblock in.
She says right now, bonds passed after July must be included in per-student costs, which she said would cause per-pupil spending in this district to go through the roof.
If that piece remains within the yield bill, we will not be able to bring anything forward until that issue is resolved on school funding and where it lives and the impact on per-student costs.
On the flip side, a new task force on funding school construction projects could benefit the district.
I have great confidence that the board will make a decision that will first and foremost think about their students' impact.
The board is expected to announce which direction it plans to go in at its next meeting. However, when residents of this community will actually vote on it remains to be seen. Reporting from Woodstock, Adam Sullivan, Channel 3 News.
Again, that was Adam Sullivan reporting on the future of the Woodstock Union High School. You can see his full report at WCAX.com. A lot of moving parts there. That being said, we're going to loop in meteorologist Peter Kavakauskas. We're taking a look at our echo cam right now. And Peter, we had quite a bit of rain this morning.
Yeah.
And, it's clear skies, kind of overcast skies a little bit here. So
starting to see those clouds kind of break apart. And that's going to be the trend, especially the further north you look today.
Yeah.
The further north you go, the drier, the sunnier you're going to be as we head into this afternoon. It's a different story, though, the further south you go. Right along that Massachusetts state line especially, I think they're continuing to dodge a few clouds, a few showers, and maybe even a few thunderstorms down there.
Called storms for my parents down there.
Yeah, exactly. Especially across southern New England. That's really where they stand the best chance of seeing a few stronger storms today, but also some places of southern Vermont also stand to see that chance here as we head towards this afternoon. Want to show you some of the reports that we got from the day yesterday, actually. Places like Franklin and Clinton counties through the course of the overnight hours last night reporting gusts upwards of 45 to 50 miles per hour. That was good enough to knock down some tree branches and some tree limbs, but now for the most part, they're talking about rain making its departure, and take a look at that on satellite radar. Most of New York's North Country starting to get in on a little bit of sunshine. You can see it from our echo camera as well. The Champlain Valley starting to get in on a little bit of sunshine out there as well. Rain showers gradually clear here through the rest of the morning hours from northwest to southeast. And here's how it shapes up as we head through the rest of the day. Again, so here it is on Futurecast as we head through the rest of the afternoon hours. Again, the farther north you are, the more in terms of dry time and sunshine you get in on. The further south you go, though, they continue to dodge a few showers, possibly a few thunderstorms down there. Again, the best potential at this really right along that Massachusetts state line. That's where you find a level 2 out of 5 risk here for severe weather. I'm going to suspect that most of us will stay free when it comes to severe weather here as we head towards this afternoon. But again, the best potential of that right along the Massachusetts state line. Any of those stronger storms that do fire up, the biggest threats that we will be talking about is some gusty winds as well as potentially some larger hail here as we head towards this afternoon, this evening. The The good news is any of that quickly clears out of here as we head through the course of the night tonight. And take a look at Futurecast here as we head through the course of your weekend. Nothing but sunshine for Saturday, nothing but sunshine as we head into your day on Sunday. And both weekend days really looking to be quite nice. Maybe a few high, thin clouds begin to slowly trickle in here as we head towards Sunday evening. But for the most part, most of us are going to be soaking up a good amount of blue skies and sunshine here as we head through your Father's Day weekend. Temperatures a bit cooler, albeit though, as we head towards the weekend as well. Most of us will talk daytime highs, generally in the low to mid 70s here for both Saturday and Sunday. But take a look at what happens as we head towards the start of next week. Monday, yeah, we're in the 80s, but Tuesday and Wednesday, most of us probably talking about temperatures at or exceeding that 90-degree mark, and what goes along with it? Well, some serious humidity as well. As we head towards this weekend, dew point's pretty comfortable, actually back into the 40s. That's downright dry air in place, but then take a look at that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time frame. They start to creep back up into the upper 60s and then the lower 70s as well, and once we start talking dew points in the 70s, that basically might as well be Florida 2.0, becoming extremely tropical, downright oppressive out there when it comes to those humidity values. So before we get there, though, here's how we shape up through the rest of the day today. Daytime highs generally in the mid to upper 70s and lower 80s out there. A few showers and storms off to the south, generally drier the further north you look. As we head through the night tonight, overnight lows, they'll fall back into the 50s, skies gradually clearing, and then that sets us up for a pretty nice day on Saturday, albeit a tad cooler than where we should be for this time of year. Most of us will talk temperatures in the mid to upper 60s and lower 70s here through the course of your day tomorrow. Now look at that 7-day forecast. Really just shaping up to be a stunning weekend out there again. Saturday slightly cooler, back into the 70s for all of us as we head towards Sunday. Then that heat really begins to arrive as we head towards Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And John, as I mentioned, it comes along with a good amount of humidity. When we tack on what it feels like with that humidity, I think most of us are probably going to be talking about real field temperatures, probably in the lower triple digits here as we head towards that Wednesday and Thursday time frame. So it's not going to be great weather if you're not a fan of the heat and humidity.
No, not at all. And this is, I'm going to ask you this in your meteorological opinion.
Okay.
So, you know when people tell you, oh, it's a dry heat, right? Oh, it's a dry. It's 100. When I was out in Oregon, they were like, it would be like 110 degrees.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a dry heat. It's still
110
degrees.
It's still hot.
Yeah.
But when you tack on that humidity,
on top of
it really does take a bigger toll on your body, actually, because you just can't sweat as much. And we know that sweat is the natural way of basically cooling you off. It does have an impact, and it definitely does have an impact on how you feel. Yeah,
and in fairness, too, it's also like you get outside, it's like hitting a wall as soon as you open the door. So,
and that's truly what it's going to be like next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're going to walk outside, you're going to think you basically went into the rainforest.
Right, exactly. So, listen to your parents, drink some water, put your sunblock on.
Make sure you're staying well hydrated here. I mean, that's getting into kind of dangerous territory when we're talking about heat and humidity like that. This is probably the strongest signal of heat that we've seen here. I mean, not only since last summer, but in a really long time here. The fact that some of us could be talking about real field temperatures in the triple digits, I mean, that's serious hot. Yeah,
definitely something to consider when you're taking the kids outside. Dogs, pets, everything like that too.
Yeah, so man or beast.
Man or beast. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
Well, I think that does it for us here on WCA Extra. Of course, you can see Peter and I on WCX at noon. See us at WCAX.com and all of our later shows, evenings, etc.
Yep.
See us later on. So that being said, we'll hop off, let you finish up your breakfast, or probably at work now.
Wherever we are.
Wherever you are. And we'll get to it.
Yep.
So, thank you.